Joining me now, Senator Bob Casey, Democrat of Pennsylvania, who's currently seeking re-election. Senator, thank you for being with us tonight. The Vice President is off the campaign trail this weekend, and she meets with a list of 6 potential running mates ahead of Tuesday's rally in Philadelphia, where she'll campaign with her VP pick for the first time. And at least one of the front runners for the job is your Pennsylvania governor, Josh Shapiro. Regardless of who gets the job, what are you hoping the vice president's running mate will bring to the ticket?
Well, Reverend Al, great to be with you. First of all, thanks for having me on. And look, Tuesday night is going to be an exciting night, not just for our Commonwealth, but for the country, because we're going to be able to see Kamala Harris kind of in the early stages of her campaign, as we've seen just over the last 12 or 13 days. And she'll be in Philadelphia, which is one of the places where we have to get a great vote. So I think it's a great place to start, not just for Pennsylvania, but also for the so-called battleground states. And look, she's got a number of folks that she's reviewing to be vice president, to be her running mate. And that's her decision, first and foremost. I obviously favor Governor Shapiro. I think he'd give us a big lift in Pennsylvania. I think he'd be a really strong running mate. But that's her decision. But I think that in the end, regardless of who's chosen, we're going to have to work night and day to win the race for president in Pennsylvania. And I've got a tough race myself. We're going to have a close race and a very tough race because of the resources on the other side.
Let me stay right there, because let me stay right in Pennsylvania. You're locked in one of the most competitive Senate races in the country, and conservative mega donors have flooded the state with super PAC money to boost your Republican opponent, former hedge fund CEO Dave McCormick. This week, new polling in the state showed you ahead of McCormick, 47% to 42% if the election were held today. That same poll also showed Vice President Harris leading Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, 47 to 43% within the margin of error. Describe the 2024 race in Pennsylvania now versus about a month ago.
Yeah, there's no question. I think that Vice President Harris has made a lot of progress in a short time frame. So she's got an awful lot of early momentum, but it's momentum we have to maintain. In the race I'm in, it's going to remain close, and it'll get closer mostly because of those billionaire funded super PACs. There's a super PAC in our state that's has been advertising against me for weeks, where one guy, a billionaire, gave $10 million, and that's just the beginning. This is someone who's worth probably more than $30 billion. So they're going to continue to attack me. And the reason they're going to attack me is not just to try to boost my opponent, but they're attacking me because they know I voted against their billionaire tax cuts and the big tax cuts for corporations that the Republicans rammed through in 2017. And if I get reelected, I'm going to vote against those billionaire and corporate tax breaks again in 2025 when we have another tax vote. So they know that I'm going to be voting that way, and they're angry at me for that. And they're also angry that I took on corporate America's greedflation when they're jacking up the price of food and household items. And then I want to pass a price gouging bill to go after them. That's why they're attacking me. So I'd say to folks out there listening, if you're with us in taking on this fight against big corporations and billionaires, go to bobcasey.com.
Now, Senator, you and I are old enough to remember Trump's political career, beginning in large part with his birther attacks on Barack Obama. And now Trump has retooled that attack to the vice president over her identity, suggesting that her blackness is in question because she's publicly claimed her South Asian roots. That message got him in trouble this week at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. So naturally, he tripled down on it on the campaign trail and on social media. Can he amplify his identity-based attacks, which I believe he will, without it costing him support? And if so, What does that say about the Republican Party that's backing him?
Well, it's an ugly practice, and it's insulting. It's also contrary to the American spirit, the American tradition, where we should be celebrating when someone becomes the nominee of a major party who is unlike anyone who came, in this case, before her, and that should be something we celebrate. If the former president or any candidate wants to litigate the issues, that's one thing. But to attack someone's very identity, I think is contrary to the American spirit. And I got news for Republicans: it's not going to work. And I think it demonstrates. I think it's proof positive that they don't really know how to make the case against Kamala Harris, because they're resorting to the most ugly and mean-spirited tactics. And it's not going to work this time. People can see through it. They know that major rights are on the line in this race, like voting rights and women's rights and workers' rights, and they're going to see right through it.
And it also happens to not be true. I've known Kamala Harris 30 years, and she's always stood as a black who also has Asian roots. I mean, her whole campaign for district attorney, she was the first black district attorney in San Francisco, first black attorney general of the state of California, first black U.S. senator that was a black woman. She always said that, always was proud of that. Went to a historically black college and was pledged to a black sorority. So Donald Trump is lying again. Oh, well, that's not exactly a news flash. Thank you, Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey. Thank you for being with us tonight.